Hey guys, good morning. It's me, Marty. I'm aka PDawg Night, obviously, and I got here a little late this morning, so I decided to make it a media day. I found a bunch of media related stuff on the fly, and so that's what we're going to check out today. Some of it's most of it's protest related and how it's being covered, but just that's what it's going to be today. Oh, I'm off center, aren't I? That's weird. There, let's fix my camera a little bit. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I hope you're ready. Plus, you know what else it is? It's Thursday, and you know what that means? It's FTG Thursday. You ready? Here we go. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Alrighty then, stop the music. Welcome everybody to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, Marty, also known on the internet as PDawg Night on the PDawg Night channel. Thank you for coming by today. It is the 4th of June, 2020. Just 30 days until the 4th of July, the great American holiday where we celebrate our freedom and, and maybe hopefully the end of businesses being closed due to viruses and business being burned due to rioters, not protesters, rioters, not protesters, rioters, those guys. I kind of getting a little tired of the whole, I don't know. Here's the thing. It's starting to quell slightly. I don't know if it's because the threat of having troops come out, of course there isn't, oh yeah, it is. That's how you say it. Yes, it is Pride Month. I forgot about Pride Month too. But anyway, now this is I'm curious now because a lot of these states. Oh wait, am I going off on a tangent? Thank you. A lot of these states who've been staying closed, so to speak, restricting large gatherings and things like that. You really didn't hear boo about it when the protests and the riot, protests are separate from riots or whatever, but you really didn't hear much about it, the whole COVID thing during the, I got to stop reading the chat. I keep laughing. During this whole protest thing. So I was kind of wondering, how's that also going to affect Pride Month? Now, it'll be interesting because some of the states have some very selective methods of opening states and having, like for example, in Michigan, everyone's favorite governor, what's her name? Mittler, Gritler, Witchman, Bitchman, Rich, what the hell's her name? Gretchen something. Anyway, so for example, they're allowing different businesses to open up the states, but they specifically singled out barbers and hairdressers not being able to open up. And it just shows that she's kind of a vindictive prick, which is not normally what you would call a woman, but hey, I'm equal opportunity here. So, I just think that that's kind of fucked up. She's singing out of business kind of out of spite because one barber in the state decided to challenge her authority. And so now she is, every barber and hairdresser in the state is paying the price because, damn it, do what I say or I'm going to ruin you. Government power, right? We were talking about that yesterday with the cops, the cops who who overstep their authority when they feel like they have government power. And so that seems to be becoming a theme. And so we like the good guys, we like the good governors, we like the good cops, we like the good lady at the DMV who's fast and efficient. Did I really just say that? Yeah, there are actually the closest DMV to my house that I go to. That whole office is pretty quick and efficient. I'd never seen that before anywhere else where I'd lived. So yes, it does exist, amazingly. But I don't know, man. We're gonna have to. Anyway, okay, so today we're going to talk about the media, and there's a few FTGs to go around. But before we do that, I have to find some appropriate music for today, which I haven't done yet. Let me see. Let's go with, let's see. We're going to go with, how about, we'll do a little R&B today. How about a little R&B? Let me kick the vocals out, make sure I'm going to make sure I get enough that I don't run out during the show. This is stuff I should have done had I been here home on time. But I wasn't. So we're going to do a little... Okay, here we go. I think this is... I don't even know. I've never listened to any of these, but here we go. Let's start with this. Oh, that's really quiet. Okay. Little mellow beat in the background for you today on the Morning Night Live. And we're going to say good morning to the people who are here. First in this chat today was my friend Chi-Town J. No, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did anyway, because I wasn't on time. You get the bell, sir. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning to Renee Mate, as we continue to say things that rhyme that way. Good morning, D.I. Freighter Watcher. I don't have anything that rhymes with Watcher. That doesn't sound obscene, so I'm going to continue. Good morning, Molly Mags. Good morning, Midday Sun. Hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And Sean D.W. Good morning to... No, really, that's the name. And we got Mike Savage, who usually gives me a blarg. Good morning, John Sislowski. That's a name I haven't seen that often. Good morning. Good morning, Stabbing Joe Scarborough. Don't hurt me. Advocatus Diablis in the house, the devil's advocate. Good morning to Molly. Oh, I said Molly Mags already. Gamer Valine. Good morning. Malia Carr, my other friend from down under. Malia's from Australia. Follow Malia on Twitter. She's a fine individual. Also, good morning to Cairo Alexander. Good morning to C. Thomas is in the hizzo. Also, Duck Dog with the one thumbs down on the daily. Good morning, Maniac Man. Good morning to Smarty Bear. How you doing? Keenan, howdy. What's up? Maddie from the House of Geek, also known as the News Chick. Good morning, Zombie Teddy, BG, Furry Kitten, and Tyler F. Is that everybody? Cynical Lindsay, too. Okay, good morning, everybody. Also, thanks to anyone who happened to have already tweeted out the show, like Maddie has already done that, and I know a few of you will do the retweet thing. Please share this stream. Rolling Bears in the hizzo too. Hello. So share the stream. Go down there on Twitter, Minds or Gab. You can retweet or repost whatever I do. I am quite active on Twitter, so you can, if you follow me there, you'll see me roaming around every once in a while. Also, if you like what we do during the show, hit the like button at some point, and you can do, if you really got something that has to be heard, the super chats get my attention. You can do that through the Streamlabs link in the chat there. So there's also a link to follow me on Twitter in the chats, and those will pop up every once in a while. If you miss it, you can find it there, or you can just go down to the description down below. So let's get it rolling. But before, one more, James Colley, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you. All right, so it's a media day, so we're gonna have some media talk, media things that happening. And yesterday, what the hell happened here? I got to refresh this screen. Hang on. I moved my modem into the basement, and it's central to the house, and now I'm back to a wired one. But for some reason, this link is not popping up, so we're gonna skip it. Oh, we'll go on to what happened to that link. Holy crap. Anyway, all right, we'll skip this. Since I have Chris Cuomo on the I have the music up a little loud, don't I? Since I have Chris Cuomo on the thumbnail, and I know that's frightened some of you, and I don't mean to frighten you. Oh, what happened there? Oh, it's just really quiet, that's all. Okay, now let's get that too loud. There we go. That should work. And we'll fix that. All right, since I have Chris Cuomo on the thumbnail, let's start with a Chris Cuomo article. CNN Chris Cuomo says that the protests don't have to be polite. Fascinating. Did anyone ask for the protest to be polite? And what are you saying, Chris, that the burning, rioting, looting that has followed the protesting, which is not the regular protesters? I'm never going to infer that. I will always distinguish between the people who are there to protest and otherwise. Yes, Fredo's in the hizzo. Wait, somebody else just came in that I hadn't said hi to. Arnold in, how you doing? What's up? So anyway, as minority-owned businesses are getting looted and cities and monuments are getting vandalized, causing billions of dollars in damages, CNN's Chris Cuomo said that protesters don't have to be polite or peaceful. Okay, Chris. Wait, we'll get into the thought experiment in a minute. Speaking on his show Tuesday night, Cuomo said that protesters are not required to be polite or peaceful. A conundrum, considering that his own network and the mainstream media have bent over backwards to characterize the protest as peaceful. Let me just should I just run the clip? Because I want to have you see what he said. Here's my whole thought on this. Okay, Chris, I got a plan for you then. Chris, I know you watch. Chris, I'm talking to you. How about you do this, Chris? I want you to take the protesters in New York, right? Hello, Pete. I am your lawyer dog. That's my other nickname on the internet, lawyer dog. I'm called lawyer dog on the internet, but I am not a lawyer. I just play one on the internet. Sean DW, what's up? So, here's an idea, Chris. Now, CNN has a very, very large budget. And your show is the #1 show on CNN, which doesn't mean it, beats reruns on Nickelodeon, but it's still the #1 show on CNN. So here's what I think we should do, Chris Cuomo, because, one of the things they did in the Beverly Hills protest out in Los Angeles is they moved the protest to Beverly Hills, right? They moved the protest from other parts of Los Angeles. They said, hey, let's move this protest to Beverly Hills, right? And then they had their protest in Beverly Hills, and one of the chants they had while they were in Beverly Hills was to eat the rich. And so eat the rich, because that's one of those those anarchist type, Antifa type chants that they do. They say eat the rich because that's kind of a communist revolution kind of thing to say. Eat the rich. And then they went and looted all of Beverly Hills. The shops on Rodeo Drive, they were breaking shit and stealing shit and took down an art gallery and all this stuff. So Chris, similar to Beverly Hills, here's what I think you should do, Chris. You call your office in Atlanta, CNN. They said, because Chris is based out of New York, him and Don Lemon. But you call the office, right? You call the office, Chris. You say, hey, CNN office, I got a great idea for a news story. Right? Here's the idea for my news story. I want the entire budget of CNN to come to New York City. New York City, get a rope. New York City, and you go to New York. You get all these buses, you rent some buses and you go down to where the protests are in New York City, and on the side of those buses you put signs. We're taking it to the Hamptons. Okay? Signs, we're going to the Hamptons. Everyone gets a free bus ride to the Hamptons. They're going to take 60, 70, 80 buses. And you tell all the protesters there in the middle of Manhattan who are, been breaking shit there, and say, all right, everyone, we're all going to get on these don't ruin these buses, don't burn these buses, don't do anything to these buses, just get on these buses, and we're going to go take a ride to the Hamptons, right? And then all the people are going to get on the bus going to the Hamptons. They're going to have a good old time. Maybe they'll say, hey, go, let's loot a liquor store before we go. We could get some wine and beer, and you can have some cocktails on your way to the Hamptons. And then you're going to take those buses to the Hamptons, but not just anywhere in the Hamptons. We're going to take them to Southampton, okay? Because currently, Chris Cuomo lives in Southampton, right? Because he's building a house in East Hampton. Because remember when he was supposedly quarantined for COVID-19, they caught him outside without a mask, taking his family to go see the house they're building in East Hampton. But don't go to East Hampton, go to Southampton. And you get off the bus right in front of Chris Cuomo's house. You got 80 buses, let's say 80 buses times 30-some people. So you're looking at 2,400 people, just 2,400 people in the Hamptons, just having a good old time protesting right in front of Chris Cuomo's house, who happens to be rich, right? Rich compared to these people who are protesting. And you get out of that bus and you get out in Chris Cuomo's house, and then guess what? Do not be, what are the words he used? Do not be polite or peaceful. And then when you're done yelling and screaming and saying, yes, eat the rich, then go loot all the houses in Southampton, starting with Chris Cuomo's house. And then we'll see how polite or peaceful Chris would like the protesters to be. Because remember, Fredo, you're a white male! So I'm just saying, I am going to see somebody already. See somebody beat me to it. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. You beat me to the punch. But FTG Fredo. FTG Fredo. That's appropriate. All right. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite, by the way.
That's right.
All right. And also Jenna P. Man, I haven't seen you around in a while. Nice to have you here on the live show. All right. Let's see. Let's listen to Chris Cuomo's dumbass. Anyone with me on that? I swear, I haven't even played his video and I've already said FTG to Fredo. Take the bus to the Hamptons. You really like roasting. All right, here's Fredo running his flap.
Now, too many see the protests as the problem. No, the problem is what
Chris.
forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Persistent and poisonous inequities and injustice. And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Who said that? Hey, hold it. Fredo. Okay, that's the end of this clip. Fredo.
Now, too many see
wait a minute, hold up. All right, there we go. I didn't want to blow out y'all's eardrums because I had to sneeze. Fredo. So anyway, okay, so here's what they say. It's a sad day when we need curfews in our cities, said Cuomo, as reported by Newsbusters. America's major cities are filled with people demanding this country become more fair, more just, and ironically, more united. I don't know why ironically. Now too many see the protests as the problem. No, they're part of the problem because you're not solving anything with these protests. All you did was distract from the issue that you're trying to come across with. But anyway, no, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Oh, you mean media setting blazing fires ahead of it? Okay. Yes, everyone was on the same page with George Floyd at first, and everyone was thinking about George Floyd at first, and everyone knew that what happened to George Floyd looked pretty fucked up at first, but then someone started breaking windows and stealing and setting fires, and guess what? You know what you news media folks did? You followed the story. You showed the fires and the looting and the people running around. You showed some of the peaceful protests, but on prime time, all I saw was fire and people yelling and people throwing shit, people hurting people, people killing people. Maybe not on your news station, but you know, more black men have been killed by protesters this last couple weeks than by police. Think about that one, Chris Cuomo. Black Lives Matter, brother. Oh, not those black lives. I forgot. In complete contradiction to the U.S. Constitution, Cuomo then went on to say that police are the ones required to be peaceful while protesters are under no such obligation. Interesting. That's an interesting take. Be honest, this is not a tranquil time. They're not here to make power. Okay, I don't even know what the hell this means, Chris, but they are not here to make power or you. Oh, I see. Make power or you or me comfortable. They're here to yell, criticize, blame, and shame. And some are there to burn, loot, steal, and destroy. You forgot that part. But why not focus on remembering the reason for the pain that fuels their purpose? Ah, that's a great question, Chris. Why not focusing on remembering the reason for the pain that fuels their purpose? Because we're too busy looking at the building that they set on fire. Because we're too busy seeing them beat down people in the streets trying to protect their property. Because we see them walking away or destroying other people's property and not focusing on their purpose. And look, it's not necessarily the people who came to protest that are doing that, but they sure haven't done anything. Well, some have. Some of the protesters have told the people doing the stupid shit to stop the stupid shit. And I commend them, because now sometimes it's in worry that they will get blamed for it, but they kind of will, because now you can't distinguish between the two. But the little suburban white kids and whatever, I shouldn't say just white kids, who are the ones who decide to come out later in the afternoon with the spray paint and the black hoods and the black masks and the black pants and the black wearing all black like they're doing a spring flashing line and breaking shit and painting, tagging shit and pretending like they're there for a protest for Black Lives when they're just there to break shit and be anarchists. You know, the same fuckers that do it all the time anytime there's an economic conference. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $2 super chat. Right, first of the day. Fredo and all the other celebrity fuckwits want these riots to happen only until their house are under threat. Then suddenly they care about controlling the looters and keeping them at bay only after these savages plunder the peasants. Fuck all of them. Well, that is a very astute observation, C. Thomas, as often you are inclined to do. And yeah, yep. Yep. Sure is. In fact, it was funny because there was some NBA commentator who was, so supportive. One tweet, he was so supportive of all the rioters and shit. And then they show another tweet when they came to his neighborhood. They were starting to fuck up his car, and he was pissed off. Get these hooligans out of my neighborhood. Yeah, that's why I'm saying let's I'm saying somebody donate 80 buses for all these protesters to go right up to Southampton in front of Chris Cuomo's house. Anyway, good morning to the gayest person on YouTube, by the way. How you doing? I see that you dropped in. I'm glad you're here. And Kyra. Kyra, did I say hi to you? I don't know if I did or not. Yeah, that too, except Soros accounts were commandeered by Obama's reported during his presidency. It's mostly likely Obama in the bunker and Soros close to or dead. Okay, I see. I'll have a conversation about that. So anyway, what happened to my damn Jim Acosta? Did they yeet the Jim Acosta article? I don't know. All of a sudden, it just died. Let me see if I can find this one again. Okay, we're going to do this, and let's see. Let's open this. All right. Oh! Now also, I want to kind of... Okay, so we're going to stick with CNN first. Geograth, what's up? Hello, how you doing? Jim Acosta. You know, I don't know why the White House press corps hasn't figured out that Kayleigh McEnany kind of is ready for all the shit that they're about to throw at her. So it's Jim Acosta. There's this thing. Okay, so let's go to this so-called photo op that the president had in front of, is it St. John's Episcopal Church, right across the street from the White House? Oh, MC's in the house. Oh, that didn't work. What the hell's going on here? Oh man, I feel like I failed you, MC. Hold up here. I can't let that get by. Hold on. Oh, that's because my shit froze up here. Okay, let's find. I cannot have a day without. Let's see. Okay, and we're gonna do that. Gosh, what is going on with my damn screen? So I fixed the damn internet problem, and now I can't fix the computer problem. I have to redo some of this. All right, well, forget it. Anyway, hammer time. What's up? And also, good morning, CNN sucks. So, okay, did everything just freeze up here? Nope, there's the music. I got this. You can still see me. I'm still talking. But everything else on my computer's frozen. All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll close. Oh, okay. We're going to have a temporary shutdown here. Give me a second. We're having a little problem. And okay, we're going to keep streaming recording, and then we're going to put this. All right, there we go. Got it figured out. We're back on. All right. So anyway, back to this thing about the so-called photo op at St. John's Church. The media has been really just, well, a lot of people have been making a lot of waves about this, and so that's a big topic of discussion. So Jim Acosta decides to ask about that. Uh-oh, what the hell happened here? Where'd my chat go? Let's fix this. Hang on. God, this is just a mess. Okay, come on. All right. Fix that. Fix that. There we go. All right, looks good. All right, moving on. So they decided to ask about it at the latest press briefing. Jim Acosta says White House pummeled protesters for photo op. Yeah, technical difficulty Thursday. You're right. And so Kayleigh McEnany fires back. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany fires back at CNN's Jim Acosta after he said the White House had pummeled protesters for a photo op. Acosta addressed McEnany during Wednesday's press briefing amid continued protests in major cities nationwide. Here's the clip, if it'll play. I'm done having a good day with my technical difficulties. Riot, yeah, rioter. Yeah, they never mentioned that the rioters pummeled the church with fire. Good call there, Renee Mayette. Also, good morning, Midnight in Exile. Let's see. So we're gonna skip the ad and let me. Here we go. Yeah, you mean the fires that they set to the church? Yes, I'm sure Dr. King would have never appreciated that. Damn it, Chadwick is in the house. What's up, Chadwick Dupree? Been a long time, man. Good to see you here. Let's finish this. Oh, no. That's why. Okay, hang on. All right, that's what my reset the sound. So let's see the sound again.
On that front just yet.
Okay, here we go.
Kaylee, you mentioned Dr. King. He likely would not have approved of what took place Monday evening across from the White House, as you probably know. If the White House president and his team had to do it all over again, would you have gassed and pummeled protesters to come to the park so the president?
Oh my God. Would you have gassed and pummeled protesters? Did anyone see pictures of that? Now, I do know that they did. They used basically smoke, smoke bombs or whatever, and did use smoke. They said tear gas. They did not. Although they did use some pepper balls in moving those people out. Not, of course, this is after they asked them to move 3 times and were showered with bottles, rocks, and other shit. But here, let's see her answer here.
Well, let me first address no tear gas was used and no rubber bullets were used. So again, no tear gas was used, no rubber bullets were used.
Making that distinction, chemical agents were used.
Let me back up
and Episcopal priest who said she was gassed. Others say they were tear gassed in that area.
Well, no one was tear gassed. Let me make that clear. That's been confirmed by DOD and by Park Services as well. So let me.
Why are you? Hey, Costa, shut the fuck up and let her answer your question. And then if you want to argue with it, you ask a follow-up question. Maybe she'll even let you, dumbass.
A lot of misreporting. First, I would note that these protests that were going on in the morning, AG Barr had determined that we needed to expand the perimeter by 1 block on each side. He was surprised, AG Barr, when he arrived at the White House to see that perimeter had not been moved. So he said that we needed to get going with moving that perimeter. He told the officers that out there. That was late afternoon. So that decision was made in the morning, first of all. The protesters were told 3 times over loudspeaker that they needed to move, and what happened was it grew increasingly unruly. There were projectiles being thrown at officers, frozen water bottles were being thrown at officers, various other projectiles, and the officers had no other choice than in that moment to act and make sure that they were safe and that the perimeter was pushed back, because as we all know, a church was burning in that very area the night before. So the
finally someone said the church was burning.
It was taken. It was.
Oh, Jim. Wait, what did he say? I'm trying to hear what he said here.
Which enforced the decision to move the perimeter on each side by a block, so that church would no longer be in harm's way by the rioters. But it's absolutely uncalled for to throw bricks, absolutely uncalled for to throw water bottles that are frozen at police officers.
Don't you agree, Kaylee, that the vast majority of those protesters were doing so peacefully?
Whoa. Okay, so a vast majority of those protesters were doing so peacefully. Well, the ones who were throwing bricks and frozen water bottles weren't doing so peacefully, and they weren't moving when they were asked to. Now, I certainly say that there is a legitimate argument on whether or not the protesters are going to move and whether, they're mad, whether they are protesting, whatnot. But just the media wants to play this up of the protesters being abused. That's what they want this to look like. Now, is it great optics to do the photo op? I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna let them finish this.
And that many of them did not hear those warnings and were sent.
Oh, they didn't hear them. They didn't hear him over the loudspeakers that the park police were using. They didn't hear the instructions that they were supposed to move. No, they didn't hear it.
Simply just pushed out of the way, just forced out, pummeled out of the way.
Pummeled. He keeps using the word pummeled. Pummeled. Yes, pummeled.
It's police officers. You sent in members of the military to deal with this. I mean, what do you say to Americans who look at what happened on Monday and find that to be appalling?
Well, let me note that the National Guard was utilized across Washington, D.C. The military was not. There is a distinction, and I would say that it is uncalled for to throw bricks at officers, uncalled for to throw frozen water bottles at officers. And they also had received intelligence that there were calls for violence against police officers, and they found caches of glass bottles, baseball bats, and metal poles hidden along the streets. When an officer is at risk, they have the right to defend themselves. They did so peaceably. There were no fatalities, no severe injuries.
You do it again.
To protect the lives of officers, they have a right to defend and to protect themselves.
And the White House.
Next question. I think Sarah used to always joke about 2-question Tuesday. I think sometimes I get 4 or 5 question Wednesday.
I just want to make sure that people who have a problem with what they saw Monday have a chance to have that addressed. And, I mean, what do you say
did
to
she not address
Americans
it?
who are just outraged by what they saw? And
What I would say is,
go and have a photo op in front of a church.
what I would say is this: officers.
What I would say, if I were her, I would say, you're right. We had a photo op in front of a church. It's not the first time a politician has had a photo op, and we tried to do this in a, I don't know, at least give them fair warning that we were going to do this. And when they started throwing bottles and rocks and bricks, we felt that that wasn't necessary either, because the night before they tried to burn a fucking church down. So, and you don't seem to have any concern for the church that they tried to burn down. You just want to fan the flames, Jim. You just want to fan the flames. By the way, FTG.
A right to defend themselves. And, I've watched a lot of your coverage. I've watched a lot of the nation's coverage. And let's go through some of the things that happen when officers don't defend and protect themselves. In St. Louis, 4 police officers were shot. In Las Vegas, an officer was shot in the head and is on life support. In New York, a cop was beat up by people. In Providence, 4 to 5 police officers and state troopers were injured. And in Ashbury Park, New Jersey, a police officer was injured. Police officers are out on the front lines. They're defending and protecting you as you come into this building each and every day, Jim. We owe them honor, we owe them respect, and when they are under attack, they have the ability to defend themselves. Zeke.
Damn. Damn. Now, and this isn't even to say that all officers are great people. Obviously, the 4 officers that killed George Floyd are not. Fuck them. Let them go to jail. I don't care. By the way, if you weren't aware that the other 3 officers were arrested, and the Attorney General upped the charges for Chauvin, or whatever his name is, to murder 2. Now, I have some concerns about that before we get back into that. There's a problem. And I'm gonna actually look this up and hopefully have an answer for you tomorrow. Because different states have different ways of prosecuting homicides. Some will have murder 1, murder 2, manslaughter and things like that. In Minnesota, obviously, we have murder 1, murder 2, murder 3, which I don't know the distinctions between the two. Now, my issue with raising it from murder 3 to murder 2, and I don't know the facts yet, and I'm going to get them for you before I okay. In Minnesota, is murder 2 premeditated without intent? Do you know that is Minnesota law advocatus diaboli? That's my question, because if they overcharge this man, and because now, how in this case, for example, okay, so if that is the case, you said yes, all right, that is how it is in Minnesota. How do you prove that the officer's intent was to kill George Floyd? Minnesota law can downgrade. Okay, in the jury phase, in the deliberation phase, you can downgrade in Minnesota. I don't know the law here, and they call me lawyer dog, but I'm going to ask you. 2 is intent without premeditation. The problem is how, if that is the charge. Let's say you had to judge on that charge alone. If you overcharge this person, you can find him not guilty of murder too by saying there was no intent. Obviously, murder 1 is premeditation and intent. Murder 2 is intent without premeditation. Who says the officers were trying to kill that officer who had his knee on his neck? Who says that he intended to kill that person? I mean, he basically got off his neck when the paramedics came. Was he trying to hold him down until the paramedics came? Now, obviously, he's negligent and should be go to jail for his negligence. The higher you place it, the more you have to make it stick, Maniac Man says. Yeah, so I'm just like, if you overcharge and get a not guilty. Now, think about the timing, too. Think about the timing. When is this trial going to happen? Is it going to happen before the election? Are they going to try to... Is Keith Ellison... Now, I know this is this is a little conspiracy theory I heard the other day, or yesterday. Is Keith Ellison trying to overcharge them so they can go get a not guilty plea and have another more fires and looting just before the election? Is that what Keith Ellison's trying to do? I don't know. St. Thomas, thank you for being here. Appreciate the super chat. Have a fantastic day, sir. I'm just saying, is this a setup? Is this a setup? Is this gonna turn into something worse? They're gonna find these officers not guilty, and we're gonna see all this shit happen again, because I mean, it's going to be bad enough when Trump wins in November. Oh, that's not even so certain anymore. But, ooh, Lord, because Keith Ellison's one of those Soros-funded attorney generals, the ones they've been trying to get put in a lot of these cities that are letting people go, like the New York, all the people they arrested, they've already let them go. In a lot of these places, they're letting these people who they catch. It's like a catch and release program. It's like they're going fishing, and you're just fishing for the sport. You get to show the nice fish you caught, and then you put it back in the water and you give it a little let it get accustomed to the water and just let it swim away. Well, that's what's happened in a lot of these cases. All right, let's move on. Apparently, another media story, this has nothing to do with the riots, but Comcast continues to reject demands for outside investigation into NBC's handling of sexual harassment complaints. During a shareholders meeting on Wednesday, Comcast CEO and Chairman Brian Roberts rejected multiple proposals from investors, including one that demanded the company hire an outside investigator to look into how NBC News handled complaints of sexual harassment against Fired Today show host anchor Matt Lauer. The Los Angeles Times reported that some investors asked why Comcast didn't... By the way, FTG to Matt Lauer, if I can figure out where it is. FTG Matt Lauer. The Los Angeles Times reported that some investors asked why Comcast didn't hire an outside investigator to look into allegations of sexual misconduct. CBS and Fox News, for the record, each hired outside law firms to investigate such allegations within their ranks. Yet NBC is still refused, instead relying on an internal investigation with assistance from two outside law firms that concluded NBC News was not at fault and that no complaints had been filed against Lauer until November 2017. Let's see. One shareholder, Arjuna Capital of Manchester, Massachusetts, requested the company conduct an independent investigation and report on risks posed by failing to prevent sexual harassment. The firm noted that NBC News digital editorial staff voted to form a union with the News Guild of New York because staff members, among other things, have serious questions about management's handling of allegations of workplace sexual misconduct. Allegations about inappropriate comments by managers have been made by 3 Comcast call center employees, according to Arjuna. Workplace harassment can harm shareholder value, Arjuna Capital wrote in its proposal. To avoid legal and reputational risks as the employer of 184,000 workers, Comcast must create a culture of accountability and transparency and protect employees from harassment and discrimination. Comcast fought the suggestion, asking shareholders to reject Arjuna Capital's proposal because our company has been built on a foundation of respect, integrity, and trust, and we are committed to creating a work environment that promotes these values. Okay, what's the obvious question here? Do you think maybe you'd have more of a culture of committed to creating a work environment that promotes those values by having an independent investigation, not a internal. We investigated ourselves and found out that we're doing pretty damn good. Yeah, great. Johnny Hellcat, Kingslayer, Damocles, all in the house. Good morning, fellas. Glad you're here. Anyway, last fall, former NBC host Ronan Farrow published a book alleging conspiracy to cover up allegations against Lauer. Farrow's book was criticized heavily by New York Times media columnist Ben Smith, formerly of BuzzFeed. Lauer himself wrote an article for Mediaite highlighting numerous factual issues with Farrow's book, providing evidence to back up his criticism. Oh, well. NBC did hire an outside firm to look into the allegations from Gabrielle Union, who claimed racism and toxic environment led to her exit from America's Got Talent. That outside firm concluded that an alleged toxic environment had no bearing on her leaving the show. She was trying to pull out the black card, I mean, I don't have a black card, but they keep lowering my credit limit. So anyway, so Comcast is investigating itself. New York Times, on the other hand, this is hilarious. The New York Times has decided that if there is a new coronavirus outbreak, it's not because of the rioters. Not the riot. It will not be the. Protesters it won't be the protesters, rioters, and looters' fault. It will be because of tear gas. New York Times, blame tear gas, not rioters and looters, if there's a new coronavirus outbreak. Well, wait a minute. How the fuck did the rioters get close to that tear gas? I'm just curious. The New York Times touted one study. Oh, it's always great when there's one study. One study that claims tear gas can make someone's lungs more susceptible to respiratory illnesses. The buried lead, a researcher said more studies have to happen since most of them are decades old. I have a simple solution. The writer of this article says, don't riot. Then again, we've seen in these riots that people do not care about the coronavirus since they've ignored the social distancing rules. Some have worn gloves and masks, but not everyone. The New York Times reported, along with the immediate pain that can cause watering eyes and burning throats, tear gas may cause damage to people's lungs and make them more susceptible to getting respiratory illnesses. According to studies on the risks of exposure, the gas can also incite coughing, which can further spread the virus from an infected person. Sven Erik Hjort, I'll just say it that way, Jort. A researcher at Duke University who has studied the effects of tear gas agents said he had been shocked to watch how much the authorities had turned to control the crowd. To the control method in recent days. I'm really concerned that this might catalyze a new wave of COVID-19, Mr. Short said. The virus has been linked to more than 106,000 deaths in the United States. Okay, first of all, FTG to, what's his name? Sven Eric Jort, RDT. FTG to Sven Eric Jort. So then this Mike Baker says the widespread use of tear gas. First of all, are they using tear gas? I mean, real tear gas? Like, the tear gas sometimes can ignite. I don't know. Maybe they have a different type of tear gas. Who knows? One study of Army recruits found evidence of significantly higher rates of respiratory illnesses after they were exposed to tear gas. Holy shit. This study took place in 2012 by the U.S. Army. The research conducted by the U.S. Army examiners looked at the impacts of exposure that thousands of Army recruits had to the common riot-controlled agent known as CS gas or tear gas. The study conducted in the summer of 2012 found that the personnel in a basic training cohort had substantially high risk of being found to have an acute respiratory illness in the days after exposure than the days before. The risk increased the more people were exposed, the researchers said. The miserable initial effects of tear gas, including stinging in the eyes and throat, typically last for only 15 to 30 minutes after a person who has been exposed gets to an area with cleaner air. But many of the illnesses in the Army research surfaced days after exposure. Researchers cautioned that illnesses were not lab checked and could have been caused by damage to the respiratory tract rather than infection, or could have been prompted by other factors. Okay. Maybe don't riot and whatever. And people laughing about this, I guess that means social distancing is just plain BS then, right? Something else. Didn't realize you guys were all set with an excuse about why it wouldn't be the protest spreading COVID-19. Yeah, that's the truth. Another person says, I think all of this is contributing to COVID, but I'm more worried about the use of tear gas as police brutality. Okay, that's an interesting take too, because it's kind of it just depends on how bad the riot or area is. If it's just peaceful protest, then they probably aren't using tear gas. If it's people running around breaking shit and throwing bricks and shit, that might be a riot and they're using tear gas. So I don't know. Simple solution: stop rioting. Hey, that's a shocker. So anyway, moving on. What else we got here? Oh, anyone here use Snapchat? I've never used it. My wife uses it and my kids use it. But so Snapchat, if you hadn't heard this already, is going to be doing some censoring. Long criticized as a haven for child pornography, they've chosen to censor President Trump. The instant picture messaging app Snapchat announced Wednesday it would be removing President Donald Trump from its Discovery feature in the latest episode of Big Tech meddling in U.S. elections. We are not currently promoting the president's content on Snapchat, Discover platform said Snap spokesperson Rachel Rakusin. We will not amplify voices who incite racial violence and injustice have no place. Racial violence and injustice have no place in our society, and we will stand together with all who seek peace, love, equality, and justice in America.
Your life makes me sad.
The comments, however, weren't even made on Snapchat. The company is censoring Trump over a pair of tweets last week promising to defend the White House grounds if breached. And that's when he what he said. And she continues, we simply cannot promote accounts in America that are linked to people who... Wait a minute, linked to people Okay, linked to people who incite racial violence, whether they do so on or off our platform, Snapchat CEO Evan Spiegel wrote in a memo to staff Sunday. Our Discover content platform is a curated platform where we decide what we promote. Well, wait a minute. I guess I don't. If any of y'all use Snapchat, I don't. So I don't know. I just wonder if what kind of things they do promote on Snapchat. They always act as public. Yeah, they're always whatever. Anyway, Snapchat is after the social media site officially declared it would be ending the president's promotion, the Trump campaign fired back. Snapchat is trying to rig the 2020 election illegally, using their corporate funding to promote Joe Biden and suppress President Trump, said campaign manager Brad Pascali in a statement. Snapchat hates that so many of their users watch the president's content, and so they are actively engaging in voter suppression. If you're a conservative, they do not want to hear from you. They do not want you to vote. They view you as a deplorable, and they do not want you to exist on their platform. Snapchat's decision to censor Trump based on a pair of tweets from another platform raised heightened concerns over the rise of chain deplatforming in the nation's new era of woke cancel culture, where a prominent figure offering any comment that could be construed as slightly offensive to the company's liberal owners could strip them of online access to the public, particularly young people. Twitter, which has already employed blatant double standards in applying its rules and standards to the Trump campaign, just began fact-checking the president's tweet last week. Snapchat, meanwhile, has long been plagued with problems of its own, including accusations that it harbors sex trafficking and child pornography. 2017 piece, Snapchat has a child porn problem, outlining how the site helps connect underage children and teenagers to pedophiles, allowing for free exchanging of instantly deleted photos discreetly. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, it was in Bloomberg. Who knows? But anyway, Okay, so anyway, Snapchat, holier than thou, and apparently holier than the president. So, all right, let's move on. Now here's the one that I really wanted to get to today, and this is what I've kind of been a big part of what I've been thinking lately. How the media fans the flames, and they absolutely have been fanning the flames. So, for example, in this case that happened in my hometown, Omaha, I hope that's the one they're talking about here. A clear-cut case of self-defense becomes a hate crime. So imagine that you, God forbid, were a journalist. You've been assigned to relay the facts of a fatal shooting. The scene is a bar in the middle of a rioting city with its windows smashed in and a group of people gathering outside. The bar owner's father comes out to confront them, and one of them knocks the old man to the ground. At this point, the bar owner himself comes out and indicating that he has a gun on his person and demands that the group leave, only to be tackled to the ground as well. The owner fires 2 warning shots in the air, but is tackled a second time, and then straddled by a man clearly attempting to grab his gun. A struggle for the weapon ensues, with the owners shouting, "Get off me! Get off me! Please get off me!" before finally shooting. There is clear video footage and audio available of the entire incident from multiple angles. The bar owner is white and the man shot was black, but no evidence suggests racism factored into the owner's decision to shoot while he was surrounded and on the ground with someone on top of him. As expected, the county district attorney does not press charges and declares that the incident was senseless but justified as self-defense. Now, suppose you had to write a piece about this tragic shooting. How would you title it? Perhaps something along the lines of "Bar owner shot protester in self-defense," states DA, as a sensible way of summarizing the facts of the case. Thankfully, you're probably not a journalist. Such a title would be far too sensible. The shooting of James Scurlock by Jacob Gardner in Omaha, Nebraska around midnight Saturday matches this scenario as described above. It was by all indications justified, if deeply unfortunate. The absence of any racial element to the altercation has not, however, stopped many media outlets from covering the story in a way that's seemingly designed to add more fuel to the most destructive American riots in living memory. CBS News, usually among the more staid of corporate networks, declares in that editorializing tone characteristic of the New York Times, quote, "A white bar owner in Omaha shot and killed a black protester. He won't face charges." That's the headline. Again, the headline said, "A white bar owner in Omaha shot and killed a black protester. He won't face charges." Now, before I even read on in this, does that headline accurately describe what happened? Unbelievable. And I when I saw the article, even I saw this article too, and read some of it, and as it's describing, I'm like, wait a minute, how did they get that? Like it's like, did the white bar owner just shoot out into the crowd because the protester was black? God. The title, stripped of the rather important context of self-defense, has been blasted across social media. Another racist hate crime has been committed. Time for more cities to burn. The Washington Post leads with this title. What about James? Killing a black protester fuels more anger in Omaha. Helpfully, the article informs us that Scurlock's death sparked discussion on Omaha's legacy of racism, a topic the writer finds pertinent to a bar owner defending a store from rioters and looters. Perhaps the most egregious of all, however, are the articles that shamelessly pander to the partisan proclivities of the readers. Vice's piece, which also places race front and center in a title that does not mention self-defense, ends by pointing out that Gardner is a self-identified libertarian and that he has posed for a photo with Donald Trump Jr. in 2017. A less informed reader might wonder what relevance such details have to the story, but the logic is simple. Liking Donald Trump Jr. is evidence of a hate crime. It's obvious. Raw Story gets right to the point by mentioning that Gardner is Trump-loving, quote-unquote, in the headline. The Cut takes care to point out that Gardner wrote a Facebook post that disparaged transgender women in 2016 and claims in the headline that Scurlock was shot and killed while protesting police brutality, as opposed to shot and killed while assaulting a man trying to defend his life and property, as it actually happened. You get the point. These media outlets, with billions of dollars of revenue and international audiences numbering in the millions, doing their best to prolong riots that are destroying the lives and livelihoods of countless of innocent Americans, all to get clicks and distort the truth to favor their own political views. Many will likely play a role in precipitating the next round of nihilistic looting and burning in 2 or 3 years. See you then. Or this is CNN. Anyway, just completely and utterly disgusted by that. Because some of these you read. In fact, I'll show you. Let's just. I'm gonna click all of these, and we're gonna just show you what all these look like. Let's see what the headlines are all. Maybe now it's possible. Let's see if they've changed any of these headlines up till now. So here's the CBS article. Still says a white bar owner in Omaha shot and killed a black protester. He won't face charges. Holy shit. And the county attorney said there was a consensus that the actions of the shooter were justified. The incident followed an altercation involving Gardner's father, who pushed several protesters when they asked them to leave the bar. Wow. A grainy surveillance video of the shooting played during the briefing shows that Gardner backed up and pointed a gun after two people tackled him on the street. He initially fired 2 shots in the air that did not hit anyone. After Scurlock jumped on his back, Gardner can be heard saying "get off me" many times before fatally shooting Scurlock once in the clavicle. Scurlock was taken to a local hospital where he died from injuries. Mr. Gardner, as we know now, has said, "I did what I did to defend myself, and we find that we can't disprove that from the evidence that we have," Klein said. That's the Douglas County prosecutor. Wow. Following the shooting, officials imposed a curfew in Omaha, and National Guard troops were mobilized to help local police. Tear gas was again used. See, now, he might as well just pack up now. He might as well close his bar and move to another city and start over, because someone's going to retaliate. So, and now here, this is hilarious. Okay. Nebraska State Senator Justin Wayne, speaking on behalf of the Scurlock family, condemned the decision Monday. He said that they were continuing to explore all legal options. "In this community, we prosecute black and brown individuals a lot more for things like we just watched," Wayne said, referring to the surveillance footage. "It's easy to talk to someone when they're alive. It's easy to get their version of the story when they can talk. We don't know what James would have said. It's on film that he was attacking the man." Citing the state's self-defense law, Wayne tweeted, "None of these circumstances were present. None. The state of Nebraska is not allowed to use deadly force to defend property." I think, didn't they say that he was on top of him? Further, it's not a valid defense if you could have retreated. How could you have retreated if the man's on top of you? "I honestly feel that if Mr. Gardner's dad would have kept his hands to himself, the incident would have never happened in the beginning." Well, the windows and... Oh my God. Weren't they already smashing the windows of the bar? Jesus Christ. Would have never happened again. Scurlock's father, James Scurlock II, told CBS NBC affiliate, "Once again, I ask that we investigate this, and I ask my people to stand behind me strong, but do it peacefully." Scurlock's mother said she feels broken over the death of her son. Okay, yes, that's not unusual. I'm sure if one of my kids were killed in that same way, I would be very angry. I'd be upset. I'd be devastated. So we get a little hagiography of the son who got killed while he was on top of some guy beating him down. We get to know that he was vivacious. He lived a life to the fullest. He was adventurous. He had such a big heart, and he was a mama's boy. Scurlock's brother said and the man had a newborn daughter. "He has a heart of gold. Anybody could tell you that." He was trying to protect people's lives from on top of the guy that killed him. I don't know. Of course he was a good boy. He was a good son, and he loved everybody. Let's see, Washington Post. Oh, what about? They forget the Washington Post. So what about James? Shooting a protester fuels more anger in Omaha. Vice News. Who is going out of business? White bar owner shot and killed a young black protester. Young? Is he young? I don't know. The DA just declined to charge him. And then We watched a video where anybody else would have gotten charged with something, the black man's lawyer said. Really? Do you think maybe the guy who died, had he not died, we watched a video where he would have gotten charged with assault? Possibly. They oh my God, this is that fanning the flames every time. I say every time, especially if the two people involved are of two different races and the one with the more melanin dies. It's always the white man kills black man. Okay. 22-year-old James on this one. 22-year-old James Skurlock was shot and killed while protesting police brutality. 22-year-old James Skurlock was shot while practicing brutality. They got it on videotape. I'm glad they're gonna try to make him a martyr, and so again, yesterday the biggest news from yesterday. I'll put this one on the screen. Oops, there we go. Here we go.
With a major development in the investigation into the death of George Floyd.
Say we got all four! We got all four! Say we got all four! We got all four!
Well, not yet.
The reaction in Minneapolis yesterday afternoon after the new charges were announced against all 4 ex-police officers.
This looks like the same intersection where I was
connected to Floyd's
is this
death,
at 30th
which was a major demand of the protesters.
Yeah, this is the same intersection where where we went the other day and saw the protests. And the protests were peaceful. Absolutely. When we were there, they were peaceful. It was during the day, obviously. But
J. Alexander King and Thomas Lane are all in custody this morning on charges of aiding and abetting murder. Anthony?
Former
two
officer
minorities.
Derek Chauvin is now accused of second-degree murder, which carries a stiffer penalty than the charges he was already facing. Jeff Pegues has been covering the story from Minneapolis, where he spoke with Floyd's brother and family attorney. Jeff, how are they reacting to this?
Well, Anthony, the family is relieved. They wanted to see these increased charges. They wanted to see all of the officers arrested and charged, and they wanted to see those mugshots. Family attorney Benjamin Crump called yesterday a tipping point for
2 white guys, a black guy, and an Asian guy. You got him. I personally, like I said, I've been saying it all along that by D.I. Frater. I've been saying all along that they need to be charged. They neglected their duty. Their duty was to bring in the man alive so that he can, so that the man could face the charges that he would have been charged with had he been alive.
justice.
We have to have justice. They murdered him in broad daylight in front of everybody.
For George Floyd's brother, Phalonis, justice doesn't stop at arrests and an upgraded charge. He believes Derek Chauvin knew what he was doing and should face the most serious charge of first degree.
And there we go again. That's where they're going to have a hard time getting, if the way you all described it in the chat, murder 2, intent. Okay? Do you believe that this knucklehead intended to kill George Floyd? That's going to be very, very hard to prove. And it's going to be interesting to see how this officer, if he testifies, what his excuse is. In any case, they absolutely are responsible for this man's death. Just the only part I have a hard time with is if they're going to get murder 2 out of it, if you can change the charge in a deliberation by a jury and charge him with and convict him of murder 3, which may not require intent but negligence, they absolutely will be able to get that charge to stick. I hope this isn't a case where Ellison is overcharging him, knowing that he won't get a conviction, because that'll start more shit in the future. I don't trust my attorney general at all. But I don't know. Anyway,
Degree murder.
When you look at that guy, when he was on his neck and they was pleading for their life, like, please, please, just let him breathe. Get off of him. Get off of him.
And he didn't
He was
respond.
just looking at them like they was in a cage or something. Like,
He looks like he's in a daze
Announcing
himself.
the decision yesterday, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said the charges are the first step. He asked the public for their confidence.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part, Kingslayer now, because these guys need to go to jail. Oh, my favorite interpreter in the world is on the screen. Another officer told him that there was no pulse. The other officer told him that, or okay, I missed that part. I had a hard time watching the whole thing. Anyway,
Even though history has shown the challenges of prosecuting police officers.
Every single link in the prosecutorial chain must be strong. It needs to be strong because trying this case will not be an easy thing. Winning a case,
I can't listen to this and not look at that woman doing sign language and think that it's from Fred Armisen doing a Saturday Night Live skit. I'm sorry, I can't. You can't not watch her either.
conviction will be hard.
But attorney
Okay, good.
Benjamin Crump believes the video will make it clear to any juror. Are you sort of putting the cart before the horse, raising expectations? Because this is a tough case.
We have an expectation of
Crump is not a very successful lawyer. I mean, he's lost a lot of these cases. I don't know why they always go to Crump. I don't know.
justice. We can never stop believing that we will
Don't stop believing. Oh, I'm sorry.
get equal justice.
But do you really think you will in this case?
I believe we would get a conviction in this case.
You do.
I hope you get a
This
conviction
video
of
is
murder 3.
horrific.
The initial complaint against Derek Chauvin sheds light on what happened the day George Floyd was killed. According to the complaint, Officer Thomas Lane asked Chauvin if they should roll Floyd on his side after Floyd said he couldn't breathe several times. Chauvin answered no, staying put where we got him. 1 minute after Floyd became unresponsive, Lane again said, "Want to roll him on his side?" Officer Kung then checked for a pulse and said, "I couldn't find one."
Okay, this
Floyd's
is
son,
in
Quincy
here.
Mason, was thankful after the charges were filed.
Oh, good Lord. Get
I'm happy that
Al
all
Sharpton
officers
the
have been
fuck out of
arrested.
here.
My fathers have not been killed like this. We deserve justice.
We got all four! We got all four!
At the site of George Floyd's memorial and at protests across Minneapolis, news of
All right, that's all I'm not gonna finish watching that. Anyway, that is the biggest news from yesterday. Let's do a real quick run through Twitter trends and see what's happening in the world. Also, let's see. Thanks Becca Farley, Chadwick Dupree, Griffin, and Ryan himself, who all. They're just like other tweets. Never mind. Cynical Lindsay, Maddie, and Becca Farley for tweeting out the show today. I really appreciate that. Also, I'm gonna send. What's going on here? Let's see. Hang on a second here. Oh, okay. Thank you, Gamerfleet. I missed that though. Totally proving Granty Monkey wrong for some historical concepts. Then George said, "Y'all can tanks." Okay, this is the great meme of the day. Thank you, Gamerfleet. Then George said, "Y'all can tax this dick," and started the first boogaloo. Boogalation 7-4. Oh, that's some funny shit. All right, let's get into Twitter trends and get out of here. Thank you, Gabriel Moline. I'm gonna on the Twitter trends Explore tab. It is. They're starting to think about COVID again. Apparently, they have signaled that the riots and protests are no longer as important as COVID-19. Updates for the U.S. Anything exciting? Andrew Cuomo's talking. Governor Hogan's talking. Morgan Stanley update today. It's COVID policies and whatever that means. I'm done. I don't know what that means. Texas had the fewest COVID hospitalizations in the past 6 weeks, and we now rank number 1 in America for the most recoveries from COVID. That's Greg Abbott from Texas. Is this the same one as yesterday? It seems like the same update as yesterday. Okay, let's just get into the trends today. Trending number 1 is Pit Mad. Interesting. Pit Mad is just when you pitch stories and things like that, but apparently it's trending with Expose Antifa. I don't know why. Okay, so they're pitching stories, and I don't care because I don't pay attention to that, and I'm not that much of a writer. Trending number 2, Blue Fall. That's just I think that's why is it okay for cops to spit on protesters? I don't know where you're going with that. It's not. Let's see. Almost 100,000 tweets on Bluefall. Keep it going. We are just starting. Flood your officials. Bluefall. Destroying the medical supplies tent. A literal war crime going against the Geneva Convention. Destroying a medical supplies tent. This is not a. Oh my God! This is not a war. First of all, you idiots need to go home. Second of all, this is. Oh my God! You don't know what the Geneva Convention is. Shut up. This man was entirely peaceful, yet you push him to the ground like this. This isn't even the worst of some of the videos in this tag. Okay, I see. So they are looking at abuses that the police officers have done. So apparently that's what this hashtag is. Why is the media not showing things like this? It's sad to you all hear this child. What this child said. She's scared because she could be killed by her skin color and by who? The cops. That's because that's what you're teaching her, you idiot. My God, that's what you're teaching these children when it is just empirically not true. They're not going out and hunting down black men. Oh my God. Please don't teach this to your children. Oh God, it's just maddening. A peaceful protest until the police became violent. I don't know any of these situations. They're supposed to protect everyone. They should not be the threat. I remember seeing this one. I don't know why they dragged this man out of his car. They were trying to arrest the man who's the driver, and he would not get out. I don't know what that deal is. So anyway, if you want to see some of the police abuses, some of these are absolutely abuses. Here they arrested the store owners for no reason when they were protecting their store from getting looted. Okay, so amplify your videos of police brutality during protests by flooding the hashtag Bluefall and tagging your local police, elected officials, and mayor. Okay, if there's police out there abusing their power, that's what they should do. So that's trending number 2. Probably be trending number 1 the rest of the day. K-pop still with you trending. Skip. It's Thursday morning, Thursday thoughts. We're going to skip today. Jungkook, that is also K-pop. Skip. Piers Morgan is trending. Why? Piers Morgan and Rudy Giuliani have absolutely furious argument about who's more discredited. And apparently Rudy and Piers Morgan got into it on something, is it Britain, Good Morning Britain or something like that. And how long does this go on? Let's see how long is this video. We'll see.
Rudy,
well, it's only 2 minutes.
Over as far as you sound completely barking mad. Do you know that?
No, I don't.
You've
you
lost the
sound
plot.
Like a big
You've
liar.
lost the plot, and it's sad to see.
You're the one who got thrown off of television here.
Yeah.
You had ratings that were about 2.
Yeah.
So don't tell me I've lost anything.
You keep going, Rudy.
I know what happened to your show, Piers.
Yeah.
And I remember the mistakes you made.
I remember.
And I remembered how you sucked up.
Yeah, but I remember.
So don't give me that stuff. I know who you are.
Well, we'd like to
You can say
apologise.
anything you want about me.
We'd like to apologise for the language you
defaming
just
my
used.
president, and you are helping to
Sucked
create
up.
violence in this country with the way you're covering this.
When
And
I
you're
used to
disgraceful.
interview you, you were an intelligent, reasonable man, and you've gone completely mad, and you sound deranged. You're
You're saying
abusive,
that because I
and
don't
it's really,
fit your
it's
phony
really
narrative.
sad to see what's happened to you.
It was really sad to see the way your career imploded in the United States, Piers.
Yeah.
If you think I have any respect for you after this, well, maybe you don't care.
Well,
But everyone in America knows you're a failed journalist.
Really?
So
well, you know
stop
what?
trying to
this
recreate
feels
your
like
career
it's turned
by
into a
this phony
personal
about
argument
You know what,
between
Rudy?
you two, and I'm not sure
You know
that
what,
our
Rudy?
viewers
I had
need to watch that.
I had the stomach to stand up and say that your gun culture is completely out of control and unacceptable. And people like you kept telling me, don't be ridiculous.
even
We're
commented
entitled
on
to
the
go on
sexual
shooting each other all day
All
long.
right, we're gonna
Now
skip
you're
this.
I will stand by what I did.
To me about your stupid comment. I didn't quote that.
All right.
I was
quoted
nice
it.
enough to keep my
All
mouth.
right, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, who says, "Is that lawyer the Black Gloria Allred that's always losing his cases because he sucks ass?
That's right.
Why does he have a job?"
That's right.
Yeah, so these guys, whatever. This whole fight is just two people who I don't need to hear anymore. Moving on, Norvell is trending. I don't know who Mike Norvell is. It's pretty simple. If Norvell's lying, he's going to have to quit. Man, this shit did not happen. We generated a text that was sent to everybody. Okay, is this something that we even care about? Florida State defensive tackle Marvin Wilson disputed that new Seminoles coach Mike Norvell reached out to players individually to discuss last week's death of George Floyd, and Wilson said he and his teammates would not be working out until further notice. Okay, Florida State star disputes coach says no team workouts. Apparently the Seminoles coach said that Florida State's players plan to boycott after Mike Norvell's lie in George Floyd's statement. Mike Norvell was an offensive coordinator at ASU under Todd Graham. They both have had ridiculous policies targeting black athletes, like no earrings or no hats in the facilities. I know lots of coaches have those kind of rules, but whatever. Apparently he said that he had said something to players, and the players said he didn't, so they're not going to work out. So that's at Florida State. Moving on, Project Veritas is trending. Wonder why this time. What did they catch now? Breaking Project Veritas infiltrated Antifa. Practice things like an eye gouge. It takes very little pressure to injure someone's eyes. It's not boxing. It's not kickboxing. It's like destroying your enemy. So this is, let's see, how long is this one? This is 4 minutes long. Anyway, look for the Project Veritas video. I'll look that up. Of course, Oliver Willis is saying Project Veritas is unfortunately trending, and you should know that its corrupt founder leader James O'Keefe has been convicted of more crimes than Antifa. Oh, really? Oh, because he exposed Acorn, and they're still mad about that. This is where the term deceptively edited video comes from, because that's what Acorn's people would always say, deceptively edited videos. But James O'Keefe, back in the day when he was first getting started with this Project Veritas, always provided the full long form raw footage. And so Anyway, speaking of deceptively edited, you ever watch the news on any of the networks these days? Every day. Benny says Project Veritas was infiltrated by Antifa was infiltrated by Project Veritas in case you needed any more evidence that they're terrorists. Practice things like an eye gouge. It takes very little pressure to injure someone's eyes. Prosobiac tweeted about it. Sarah Carter tweeted about it. Lots of people tweeting about it. So I'll watch that later. We won't spend the time today, but all the right people are tweeting about it. Oliver Willis again. Also, James O'Keefe of Project Veritas is a misogynistic weirdo. Okay, but is the so obviously the personal attacks on James O'Keefe tells me that everything he prints and produces is true, because the only thing they're attacking is him personally. Interesting. Oh, but according to Patriot Paragon, Project Veritas has absolutely no credibility. They use their fascist friends to simply wear a sweatshirt and expect all of us to buy their heavily edited lies. Oh, there it is, edited, while ignoring real fascist threats like Proud Boys, who coincidentally are connected by financial backing. Now I want to watch it even more. All right, moving on. Travis McMichael, don't know who that is. Whoa. Where is this? Oh, that's okay. Defendant Travis McMichael declared effing nigger as he stood over the body of Ahmaud Arbery, according to testimony of defendant William Bryan and video recording. Well, is this... I guess we're going to find that out. Well, the hate crime indictment should now be open and shut now. Okay, no hate crime laws in Georgia, unfortunately. And to think the racist murdering thug might have gotten away with it too, if not for the video being sent to the media and outcry on social media. Shame on the police and the previous prosecutor who didn't bring charges and tried to hide it. Interesting. We'll see if that. So apparently that's someone saying that this happened. I don't know who. Defendant William Bryan said that. Okay. That will. That certainly will change some hearts and minds, I guess. Not a good thing for them. Let's see. Michael White's trending after that. Who is Michael White? I'm happy to announce that Navy veteran Michael White, who has been detained by Iran for 683 days, is on a Swiss plane that just left Iranian airspace. We expect him to be home with his family in America very soon. That's very good news. Michael White, U.S. Navy veteran detained in Iran, released after more than a year in custody, according to a person familiar with the negotiations. And the first question someone asked, how much did Trump pay them? He offered them all of our leftist building burners and brick throwers. Cool. Can someone explain why we allow Americans to be detained in other countries? Well, it depends. In some cases, it's because Americans have broken laws in other countries. In this case, I don't know why they detained him, but I'm sure we'll get the whole story once he is back, but good for him getting back. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Finally, we're going to come down to the end here. Did Mexico is... Okay, why is did Mexico build... Seeing did Mexico build that wall trending? Everyone. I think Trump's wall is going around the White House. He's so cowardly, piece of shit. You know what? And them calling him bunker bitch. All this, you know what? There's a reason. There's a reason. You protect the President of the United States, no matter who the President of the United States is. If people are threatening the White House and trying to burn, and a guard shack is burning, protocol by the Secret Service says that you take the President to safety, and that they can ensure the safety of the President of the United States. Why do these people think that calling him bunker bitch and shit like that is, I don't know, funny or appropriate or whatever? Whatever. So I guess they're asking, Did Mexico? Apparently, they're building some fencing around the White House because they don't, whatever. We finally see you got your wall built. Did Mexico pay for it? Okay, fine. So they got some fencing around the White House to protect it because people are vandalizing and trying to penetrate the perimeter of the White House. Which, you know what? I say, you know what? Well, no, I can't say that. That would be wrong. But you realize there are some of the best trained snipers at all times are atop of the White House. Moving on, Vidar, Meghan Markle's trending. The only wrong thing to say is to say nothing Duchess Sussex addresses George Floyd's death. Well, I've been waiting to hear Meghan Markle's thoughts on George Floyd's death. Skip. The People's House is trending because imagine being so unpopular that you have to turn the People's House into something you'd see in a third world country. Yeah, you know what? How you all can blame any of this bullshit on this president specifically? It's who's been fanning the flames? Who's really been fanning the flames? I would say the media. I'd say that the president, at least with black people, the president's been doing some pretty good things that normally, if anyone else had done them, he would have gotten credit for. But again, this is not just anyone. This is Donald Trump, and you gotta hate Trump because that's what the TDS requires of you, and that's how it goes. Okay. Anything else interesting here? The fake president. Oh, the hashtag activists are out in force today. Got 3 of them going. All right, I'm looking at Florida State's. That's not a good scene in Florida State that the players are refusing to play for the coach. Another 1.9, nearly 43 Americans filed for unemployment benefits. And there's going to be a lot more in Minneapolis and the certain areas of different towns. And then finally, the last one on here, number 30 on trending, is Candace Owens, because Candace Owens did some short 17-minute video talking about George Floyd. And I'm not a fan of Candace. There's other people who are talking about it too. This guy, I'm going to go ahead and play this one though. And this is not Candace Owens. She has her own 17-minute video here, where she says George Floyd is neither a martyr nor a hero, but I hope his family gets justice. Now, I haven't listened to this one either, so I'm not going to because it's too long now. But I will show you this one. I did watch this one earlier this morning. It's interesting.
A lot of black people gonna hate me for this video, but I gotta speak it because it's real. So check it out. Y'all mean to tell me y'all more mad about an officer killing somebody that you didn't know just because they in your same race? Follow me, don't get mad yet. Check it out. In your same race, then when somebody in your neighborhood killed a person that you love, the person that you attached to, the person that you see every day, even if you don't love them, somebody that's in your community that you see and they didn't kill them. Or when a little girl get killed at a party or at home, sleep in her bed, and random bullets come through the door and all that stuff. Y'all mean to tell me y'all get more pissed about that? Check it out. How about we be in front of the motherfucking drug dealers' houses, protesting in front of gang member houses and shit to get rid of the gangs, to get rid of the drugs in our community, to get rid of the liquor stores that's in our community that's really tearing us down. We destroy more of ourselves than they ever could. We the only ones that can wipe us out. Y'all lot of
all right, so that's a hero message if you ask me. Not that the death of George Floyd is not significant, but I wish they'd have this energy. The people who protest these kinds of things would have this energy in the neighborhoods where more people are dying, where more black men are dying, where the most black men die in the neighborhoods, killing each other, the highest murder rate. Again, 50% of all deaths, black men ages 15 to 45, homicide. We need that energy in the places where it's happening by the people who are doing it, because this police officer, again, man bites dog. 9 of these situations last year. That's it for today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT on the PDawg Night channel. Please, on your way out the door, hit the like button if you like what we do. And if you are watching after the fact on replay, please put a comment in the comment section down below so that I know you were here. I can acknowledge you. And if please share the stream or video, however you're watching it. Share it out on your favorite social media. You can do the share button, or you can follow me on Twitter, mine's Gab, retweet, repost, whatever you do there. And finally, donations and super chats are done through the Streamlabs link, which is always in the description of the video, and also always in the chat periodically. So I think I got it all done. That's it for today. My name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.